Hello everyone, Salvage Man Dan back with a channel update video. A few things that have happened since the last video of the drop links. But I did change all of the drop links front and rear. I did it after work. I get home at 4 and obviously it's dark by 4:30, so I only get half an hour. So one night I did the front drop links in half an hour, which is good going, isn't it? And then second night I did the rear drop links in half an hour. But I just gunned them up. So I got the impact gun and gunned the nut on. Because it's all fresh, it gunned up pretty tightly. But I need to just go back around and just make sure that everything, get a spanner on the back of it, make sure it is fully tight. Because when I test drove it the other night, there is still a very bad knock here, front near side. So not sure what's going on there, maybe some sort of bush in the arm or maybe broken springs, but I'll have to investigate that. Every time I record this, he wheezes on the car, so that's nice as well. This is the third take doing this because I used, well, as you can probably hear, I've got a new microphone. So hopefully everything's a lot clearer now. But I used the road capture app for recording it, and it just wasn't very clear. The actual video quality wasn't very clear, so I'm going back to the Apple camera app, which seems fairly good. So yeah, I've got to sort this out, have a look at what's going on with that, make sure that the drop links are fully tight, because I know if they're not fully tight, they do knock still. So that could potentially be that, hopefully, fingers crossed. But if not, I'll have to put a new arm on it or something, lower arm probably, which is fine, we can do that. That shouldn't be a problem at all. So yeah, that's the update with the Mini. The next update is the Fiesta ST, which has been sat in the back of every video, sat doing nothing, which is a shame because they're a really fun little car. But yeah, it's, for what I paid for it, it's not worth doing. So I paid £3 for it. It needs a door, a wing, a bonnet and a bumper. Now, parts for this, those parts in particular, aren't too bad for this. And it needs a cam cover gasket as well, which again isn't too bad. But for the money I've got into it, I'm not going to get any money back after I've done all those repairs. So I'd rather just call it now rather than spend time on it and then have the same result anyway. So yeah, that's been booked into Copart. It's being collected on Wednesday and going back into Copart. The reason being for that is I just want to get another project. I want to get another BMW in, or Mini, and that's what I'm going to try and stick to. I want to try and stick to BMWs and Minis because I've had quite a few now and I'm fairly used to them. So it's nice to have something that you're used to and you know what the common faults are with certain cars. It makes it a lot easier. But yeah, okay, well anyway, I'll got something to show you here actually. I showed you my jet wash with the 15-meter hose, stubby. The guy I bought this from actually doesn't sell things anymore. He was called Clean Your Ride, CYR. And I had a look the other day to link it into the video and he just doesn't. The whole website's shut, which is a shame because he was quite a good supplier. I think everything he was selling was basically off Temu, but I liked it because it's things that he tested and knew were good, whereas when you're buying off Temu, you don't really know what's going to be any cop. Whereas I knew everything on his site had been tested and was good. So, but anyway, I bought this off Amazon, a little extension bar for the stubby with a holder. You've got holders for your different types of head there. Now I bought this because it's handy to get up in the arches and make sure you clean all the arches out. So yeah, that just clicks in the end of that. And then comes out. And the staffy gets very excited about that. So yeah. So I'm going to put you on time lapse while I clean up the Fiesta to get that ready to be collected on Wednesday. I never really gave it a good clean to when it's all mud in the arch and all that. So I'll put you on time lapse and we'll start getting that cleaned up a bit.
Switch it up!
Right, this is the bit where the staffy gets really involved. Just a quick reminder, this has been 10 minutes since I applied this. This sort of thickness snow foam that clings on for tens of minutes at a time. I mean, I bet that'll still be cleaning on about half an hour from now, it'll still be on there. That's just Amazon snow foam bottle. Auto Glim Polar Blast. Don't normally rate Auto Glim, but that is good stuff. Good stuff. I'll just do probably the last ever walk around of the Fiesta ST. So you can see there's some scratches on the bonnet. Some more scratches there. Bigger scratches there. We've got very slight dent in the A-pillar and then just paint missing from the top of it. The top section of it. And you've got slight scratches on the wing. Some deep scratches in the bumper there, and you've got a dent in the door there, quite a soft dent in the door, and then you've got some couple little scratches there, that which would probably, yeah, it comes off with your nail. So I'll polish that off in just a second, but there's a little bit of a bit there which will come out. Around the back, absolutely perfect. Around this side absolutely mint. Nothing wrong at all. If it looked like this on both sides, I probably would have kept it as my personal car, but it wasn't to be, so onwards and upwards. Right, so let's have a look what's going on here. This knocking. Would help if the jack was high enough to actually release the wheel, wouldn't it really, I suppose? So, while I'm getting set up for this, just wanted to talk about some other bits I've got going on. So, the transit van, the big black transit, that's currently being converted into a catering van. It's actually the Mrs. van, and yeah, she's going to start doing catering out of it, particularly Spud. It's going to be a Spud van, and yeah, it's been converted. It's actually gone off today to have all the electrics done on it. 240 volts, so we can have everything powered inside. So we've got a potato oven. Going to have a charger in there, so it charges the van battery, so we don't have the issue with the van not wanting to start when we go to leave. Let me just tighten this. Yeah, that's that. Go a little bit tighter, but not much really. Yeah, not much tighter on that. These drop links that I use were called Febby Bilstein. I messaged a friend who's in the trade about them, and he said it's just a fairly new brand, that decent, cheap. These were a tenner each, and yeah, they're nice. You can actually get a span on the back of this, which is a lot better. There you go, got the span on the back of that. Let's just give this a little bit of a pretty tight. Couldn't tie that much more really, a little bit, but nothing to write home about particularly. So that's that. I don't think that was loose enough to have caused any real issues, so we'll have to. So the spring all looks intact. Let's get my torch. Gloves as well. Nothing wrong with that. And actually none of that even looks particularly old. Look. All looks nice. So it's definitely not that. It's probably going to be the bush at the back there. Bush down there. Bush there, or a bush. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look. I noticed as well the other day, this has a height sensor on it. So it knows what height the arm is at, which is bizarre. Normally you'd have that on like air suspension, so it knows if it's dropping down, if it's drooping a bit to put more air in there. But I mean, it's not a sporty car, is it? It's a diesel Cooper, so normally you'd have that like for electric adjustment suspension, but it definitely does not have any of that. Yeah, okay. We'll have to just put a pry bar on it and see what we can get at. There's been quite a lot of change in it, isn't it? That arm doesn't even look that old. Doesn't look bad at all. And I wouldn't really thought that would knock anyway, because it's all rubber. Unless it's really fucked. Right, so I've just tightened that drop link a bit more. Hoping that'll make a difference. It wasn't. I could tighten it, a bit more without going too mad. So it could be that. Hopeful thinking. But no, I have had that before where it wasn't fully tight and it did knock. So I'm going to try that first. See if that makes any difference. If it doesn't, I've just checked everything else out and everything else looks fine. So if it does it again, it's not something that I've ever done before. I could probably change an arm on this. It's not terrible to do. It's 1, 2, 3, and then 3 bolts under here, 5 bolts. And one of them's going to pain in the arse, but pointless changing an arm unless someone's looked at it and said, yeah, it's definitely the arm that's gone, isn't it, I suppose. But that's not something that I'm familiar with. But doing these videos and doing these cars, I'm learning more and more and more, which is what I've always wanted to do, really. I always wanted to work on cars. Yeah. Okay. Right, so that's just going to put the wheel back on now, tighten it up. I've just tightened the drop links back up. I could actually tighten them a bit more by hand. So I have had it before where that did cause a knocking noise, so I'm just going to have to give it a drive and see. If it doesn't fix it, then I'll have to take it to a garage and see what they reckon. Because I could change the arm, but I don't want to really change the arm unless I'm sure that's going to solve it, because 1, they're not cheap, 2, it's a waste of time, and 3, I've still not solved the issue, so better try and be a little bit smart about it. Yeah. So just basically, now that the knock isn't resolved by drop links potentially, after this test drive, it's not something that I've ever done before, so I'd rather get someone look at it that does know what they're looking at for that sort of knock. Obviously I don't want to sell it with a knock. I'd rather get that sorted for what it's going to be. Yeah, but obviously the more of these I do, the more I learn, so, and the better I get, which is what I'm enjoying. So yeah, let's go down, tighten that up, and see what a garage reckons to it. Right, well, that is all for today's video. I'm going to drop this down a garage one night next week, sorry, and just see what they reckon to that knocking noise after I test drove it, obviously to make sure it doesn't, just to make sure I don't, I doubt it will, but I'm just going to test drive it to see if that resolves the knocking at all. I just want the knocking gone, so once the knocking's gone I'll sell it then, and it'll be up for sale and should go fairly quickly because it's a really nice car. So yeah, going to get that gone. Obviously the next video, the Fiesta will be gone as well. I'm going to be bidding on a another project this week to try and get another one in. I'm after 1 series, 2 series, 3 series, 5 series. Yeah, so try and get a new project in ASAP. And just as a side note, I know I'm really late to the party with this, but I've been watching Peaky Blinders. Adam LZ posted a video on Instagram where he dressed up as one of the Peaky Blinders, and it sort of inspired me to watch it. Because I figured if someone in Florida likes it, why not? So yeah, really good. I would recommend watching that. I started watching it last night about 10 o'clock and I was up till 2 a.m. watching it, so really good. So yeah, I'd recommend that. But anyway, that's all for this week's video, and we'll have some exciting news next week on a new project, and I'll be up in front with what I'm paying on things. And yeah, I've got a bit of a video idea where all of the parts I got for my Mini were all main dealer, and I've had a fair few bits for that now, and the main dealer is actually cheaper than eBay. So if that's something you'd like me to go in depth about, into the costs that I've paid, and yeah, happy to do that. Because like I said, I think you can save quite a lot of money just going to main dealer and getting your bits and bobs. Like I got a full service kit for that Mini, 120 quid, all genuine. So I think the prices are good, but make your decision on that. But yeah, anyway, that's all for this week. I'll be back next weekend. I'll be trying to do bits after work, but obviously it gets so dark now that it's difficult. But anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.